Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the FTM podcast, which stands for Fight Them Not Me. I'm your host, Hezekiah Cotton, and this is episode 3. I'm so glad to be back with you guys. Excited to kick things off. I just want to talk about, again, well, really just kind of follow up on episode 2. As you know, I interviewed Dr. Chris Williams and kind of just talked about PV football's past with the losing streak and then how far it's come since then. And I kind of just want to tie it to, I guess, a broader perspective and kind of real world. This is a real world situation, but real world scenarios that people outside of sports could possibly relate to or understand, just to help people understand the significance of the losing streak and why it's so important. And I guess first and foremost, when thinking about the losing streak and its historic impact. That 80-game losing streak is actually the longest losing streak in NCAA football history. So, across all college, all time, that is the longest losing streak. And so that's kind of what Prairie View A&M is known for. Outside of outside of really just outside of Prairie View itself, if people. Or I'll say outside of the SWAC as a whole, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, which is the conference that Prairie View A&M is a part of. I think outside of the SWAC, a lot of people know Prairie View for its 80-game losing streak, and that's just a big part of history. And so I think, obviously, that doesn't represent who we are. Prairie View has so much more to offer. Prairie View football has way more to offer. And that's not a shot at anybody that was a part of the 80-game losing streak at all. I don't want to make it seem like we have more to offer than them, because it's nothing like that. It's definitely we appreciate them because they laid a foundation of grit, which is something that we focus on today with Prairie View A&M football, having passion and perseverance for a long-term and meaningful goal. Those guys were coming in and just playing football for the love of the game. No scholarship, no none of that. So we're forever grateful, forever in debt to them. We just definitely appreciate all their everything that they've done and the foundation that they laid for what it is to be a Prairie View A&M Panther. And not only the players, but the coaches, any support staff that might have been along with them on the journey, the band back then, all the students who were there supporting the games, like Dr. Chris Williams talked about, where fans are just surrounding the field and cheering at cheering at the highest level possible for every first down, every tackle, and just everything in the game. So we're definitely forever in debt to them for that. We're grateful for them laying the foundation for Prairie View A&M football. And I guess on another way that it another way that the losing streak kind of just, and the artifact itself, another way that it kind of you could show it from a different perspective, a broader perspective, is just thinking about how it's the first integrated game in this, or thinking about the first integrated game in the South that happened in 1947. Just thinking about how far college sports has come along, or really just sports in general. Obviously, sports back then didn't really get the chance to have integrated sports. A lot of people were segregated, and eventually it got to the point where different races could get together and play sports. So that's always something that's a beautiful thing to kind of just reflect on and talk about. And then again, something that is really, really big is head coach, or former Prairie View A&M head coach, Billy Nix, who is inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. So on one end, you have the longest losing streak in NCAA history. And then on another end, you got Coach Billy Nix, who is inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame, both from Prairie View A&M University. So I think, again, just being grateful for the people who came before us and kind of just honoring them and representing them in the right way. And then lastly, one of the things that I kind of wanted to just talk about was the athletes athletes and like the relationship that they have with HBCUs. I think back in the day, I think something that was like prominent and something that you saw a lot were like the bigger athletes going to, and not even just the bigger athletes, just athletes in general, taking pride in going to HBCUs. You think about the Walter Paytons of the world, the Jerry Rices of the world, who are considered like greats, all-time greats at their positions and probably the best at their positions. And even Prairie View A&M's very own Ken Houston, who's considered one of the greatest safeties of all time, who came to Prairie View or went to Prairie View. Just thinking about like how times have changed. Like nowadays, a lot of athletes choose to take like the P4 and G5 route, where they're going to these bigger institutions, and kind of just wondering like, where did things get lost? I think there's a lot of great African American coaches who could be put in positions to like lead other young African American men. I think we could all like center that back at HBCUs. Everything doesn't have to be done at a P4 place or a G5 place. And that's nothing against those places at all, but just kind of like keeping it within the community and wanting people to like want to help people grow. Giving people something, or giving players somebody that they can relate to and somebody that they may play harder for. I think it could take away from some of the negative experiences that you hear about like across college football. And it's I think, you know, there's a way that we can get back to that. So that's as far as just like major events or U.S. history that kind of correlate with my artifact. That's kind of all the things, like the ideas that I kind of like have. But also kind of just, again, like me and Dr. Williams talked about with the students knocking over the field goal post. You just like kind of want to bring that back, that love for Prairie View A&M sports back, not just football itself, but like sports as a whole. Students taking pride in everything that goes on during the game, and then once the winning streak is over, having enough like joy and fun, or like having enough fun during the game to storm the field and tear down the goalposts. I think that's just like a testament to how passionate people were. So I think if we can bring that love for the game and like push that into HBCUs all around, not just Prairie View A&M, but HBCUs all around, I think it'd be like a significant turnout, and it just like lay a foundation for so many more things to come and like so many doors to open up. So that's just kind of my thoughts on like how things could go. But I appreciate you guys for listening. Kind of started running out of things to say, but it's just kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of getting like emotional thinking about it, because it just be a beautiful sight to see, and that's something that I hope this podcast kind of like, you know, hopefully people hear this and it lays a foundation for like just the doors to open to where athletes are returning to HBCUs. People are taking pride in their HBCU and the sports of their HBCU, and great coaches can come to HBCUs and just push out more and more and more people, and it just becomes a trend, and like it just happens like all over the nation. So something to think about, something that I'm thinking about heavy. But this is episode 3 again, and thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you. Hopefully the topics touched you the same way that they touched me. And I'll see y'all on the next episode.